everyone, and welcome back to another fall vlog. It honestly kind of feels like night and day since the last one I posted, because in the last 2 weeks here we've only had like 2 or 3 days over 80 degrees. So the fall weather is almost here. It's officially September and I'm feeling pretty good. I have a couple things I would like to accomplish in today's video. First is I really want to do a haul of some of the stuff I've gotten for my Halloween and fall decor. Truly, it is not that much. And honestly, like, girls, put the credit cards away. We really don't need to be going super overboard with Halloween decorations. My general rule of thumb is to decorate first, see what you potentially need, and then only going out and buying something if you're already at a store. Honestly, I am like super anti-online shopping right now. I kind of hate it. Maybe I'll elaborate in a future video, I don't know. So that's the first thing on our list. I then want to do some updating in my reading journal. I have a few straggler spreads I have to finish from August, as well as updating all of my September ones. I actually have yet to do my like overall monthly spread for September, but the month did just switch over, so I'm not super behind on that. I actually did a slightly different layout this month, which I will show you when we get to the like journaling portion of this video. So this is definitely something I want to work on. I also would very much like to do some type of fall craft. I do have some like general sewing for cosplay I should be working on, but there's also like some fall specific things I want to do. A craft I really want to do is to make a like Louise Carmen Paper Republic style traveler's journal. I've seen a lot of videos showcasing these lately. I don't know how I got onto that part of the YouTube algorithm. Actually, I think I do know what like inspired me to get on this side of the algorithm. I had watched Spicy Cat Reads DIY one of these journals in a recent reading vlog of hers, and I thought it looked really cool. And overall, I have been looking for a new journaling system. I don't really do any type of like casual daily journaling, but I kind of wanted to get more into doing a more like analog collection of like commonplace book style journaling, as opposed to like saving that stuff just online. So I think this system might be a good place to start. And overall, I just like really like the look of these like leather journal covers. From being someone that sews for a very long time, I do have a big stash of faux leather that I think I can use to make a journal cover. And then the only thing I have to get is the like elastic cording that is used to like keep the journal closed and hold the actual journals inside of it, which I should be able to get when we're like out and about at like a local Michael's. And if not, I'll probably just like buy it online from Wawak. And the last thing I want to do in this video is we actually recently went to a craft fair and antique market. So I'm going to show some of the B-roll from when we went to that, as well as I really want to do some other like in-person fall decor shopping. Again, like before, I'm not trying to do a lot of overconsumption related to my fall decor. I think I have a pretty good setup of having collecting things from the last like 5 years that I don't really need too much, but there are a couple small things on my wish list that I'm thinking I'll be able to find between going to like Michael's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx. I actually have yet to be at a TJ Maxx since like all the fall decor started coming out, and I think I'm going to be able to go to one probably in like 3 or 4 days, so I'm hoping I can find some of the stuff I'm looking for there. So that's the overall plan for the stuff we're going to be doing in today's video. I also wanted to do a really quick showcase of some of the books I've actually started from my September TBR. I know, I'm actually reading the books I had picked out from my September TBR. Please clap. I've started 2 of them, so I thought we could start off this video by giving a little update on my progress in those books. And with that long intro out of the way, let's get right on into it. So I've started 2 of the books that were on my September TBR. The first one that I started reading was Starling House by Alexi Harrow. This is an adult horror fantasy novel that follows our main character Opal, who's been living in this kind of like small industry town that's been ravaged by the local coal company. She's just trying to like make ends meet and figure out a better life for her younger brother when she gets the opportunity to work at Starling House, which is this big wealthy estate in the town that's owned by the somewhat creepy Starling family, or in particular just the one remaining member of the Starling family, who is Arthur Starling. It's mostly first person from Opal's perspective, but there are occasionally third person perspective chapters or sections that are from Arthur's POV. And it seems like Starling House is some kind of like sentient house that is on top of a like magical portal to hell, or like some other like otherworldly place where these monsters are. And just from like context clues, it seems like Arthur and the rest of the Starlings are either like cursed or forced in some way to live in Starling House and keep this portal sealed. I'm about a third of the way through this book. I've mostly actually been listening to the audiobook, which I got through Hoopla, and then I actually like barely cracked open the physical copy that I have, which is this really, really beautiful Illumicrate special edition. So far, I do really like the writing style. I think it's really, really beautifully written, and I think the mystery is relatively interesting and intriguing. I'm not a huge fan of the characters. I just don't really like Opal's perspective. Or maybe I'm not necessarily disliking her, but at the same time, I'm not really really gripped by her or her relationship with Arthur. This book is a little bit middle of the road for me. If the rest of the book kind of continues from the way it has been in this first third, I could see it being around like a 3.5, probably nothing higher than a 4. Again, depending on how the rest of the book goes, I might change my opinion, but at least for right now, I do think I probably will eventually unhaul this book and like sell it on Pango or something, because first of all, it's a really beautiful special edition, and I don't really need a beautiful special edition of a book that I only feel like middle of the road on. The other thing is, I just don't know, even if I did really like this book, if I would want to like reread it a lot, so I feel like I just for those reasons should end up unhauling it. But again, I'm only a third of the way through. My opinion could completely change in the next like 2/3 of the book, and I might end up really loving it. I have like had my entire opinion of a book like kind of switch after getting through like the halfway point. Honestly, that's what I did with The Cruel Prince. I really didn't like the first fourth of that book, but after the like really pivotal scene, maybe like 2/3 of the way through, I really liked it. And ended up giving like a 4.5 stars when I had originally considered like even DNFing it in the beginning. So only time will tell on if I actually end up loving this book. So that's a book I'm a little bit unsure on. On the other hand, I have also been reading a book I've been really enjoying, and that is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. This is the third and I believe final book in the Emily Wilde series. Honestly, I feel like this series could go on forever. I think that all the books are really, really fun, just like them kind of going on different independent adventures. But I'm pretty sure this is like the third and final book, and it's just a trilogy. Anyway, these are a series of epistolary, adult, cozy fantasy romances that follow our main character, Emily Wilde, who is a professor at Cambridge that studies fairies. And over the course of the books, she has developed a relationship with one of her fellow like academic rivals, whose name is Wendell Bambleby. They have a really, really great rapport, and I really like their development over the course of the series. I can't really talk too much about the plot of this because I feel like it really hinges on some like reveals that happen in the first and second books. But overall, I'm really enjoying this. I think I like it probably as much as I did the second book in the series so far. I'm a little bit under halfway through this book. I'm currently at page 150. And yeah, it's very cute. I really like the dynamic between Emily and Wendell. I really like all of the like fairy worlds and the different like magical creatures and like environments that we're in. I do feel like I kind of have almost like facial blindness with this series though, in that a lot of these side characters, I like completely forget their names and like their relevance in the previous books until like we've interacted with them a couple times, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I do kind of remember them from when I read the previous book in the series. So I do feel like I probably will eventually reread the first book. I really do like all the books in this series. The first one I gave 4.5 and the second one I gave 4 stars. I think this one will probably end up being a 4 stars unless like, again, it kind of blows me out of the water in the ending portion, which honestly was probably the part in the first book that really made that book stand out for me. But I do really like the series. I could see myself rereading the first one again. Now that I kind of know the overarching scope and where everything is going to go, I'm really hoping that eventually Barnes & Noble puts out a like box set of their Barnes & Noble exclusive editions of the paperbacks. I'm assuming based on like the timeline for when these books are being released, that will probably come out sometime this year or maybe next year, because I do think I probably would like to buy the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions of this series in the future. I kind of was waiting until I started this book to sort of... Anyway, those are my kind of like rambly thoughts on this book. I think over the course of this vlog, I probably will do a little bit more reading and maybe update you later on with my progress in these books as well. So my beautiful wife did a Barnes & Noble order on my account so I get some points, so big thank you for that. But it's now come in, so I thought I would do a little unboxing. Do you want to say what's in this order?
You can show it.
Okay. Okay, so the first thing that Bro got was, we got a DVD copy of Sinners.
Yeah.
which I talked about in, probably I don't know if it'll be up by the time this video goes up, but I said this was one of like a movie that we recently watched that I really, really enjoyed, and we obviously wanted to own it. Also, my parents really want to watch this, and they are boomers that can't figure out how to like get a DVD. They want to try and stream it, and it wasn't available anywhere. So we'll probably watch this, and then we'll also let them borrow it so they can finally watch Sinners. Okay, the next thing my bro got was she got a CD she got in 1989 by Taylor Swift. Is this your favorite Taylor Swift album?
Probably. I've listened to 2 from the library, and I liked this one a lot.
Yeah.
So, first money I've ever spent on Taylor Swift. You're welcome. I'm paying for the wedding, I guess. But,
Okay.
but yeah, this has a lot of songs I like, so adding it to the collection.
Okay. And then my bro got me. Oh my gosh, she said there was a surprise, and she got me Bite Me by Renee Rapp. Thank you. This is like an album I've been listening to a bunch lately. Oh my gosh, thank you, bro.
I hope you like it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'd love to have it.
Was that what you thought it was, or did you?
I had no idea what
okay.
we got, to be honest. Yeah. So she said she got me something as a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I hope it was a good surprise.
This is a great surprise. Thank you. I've been listening to like tons of these songs like nonstop.
Yeah. And now you own it. You can put it on your phone and.
Don't have to give Spotify any more attention. And the last thing that Bro got was she got Get Out, which is so funny because she just watched the library copy of this like last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this movie. I saw it was like $6 on BarnesandNoble.com, so I was like, you know what, add it to the collection. So.
Great. Yep. And we also just went to another like independent record store yesterday and got a bunch more DVDs and CDs for like $1 each. So
do you want to
the
show
physical media collection is really growing.
Do you want to show those off?
Oh sure, yeah.
They're like right over there. Yeah.
Here's a stack of all the other stuff we got at the record store. So I got 2 CDs. I got a Green Day album as well as a Rufus Wainwright album. This one I've not heard before, and this one I like. It's not one of my favorite Rufuses, but
what's the Green Day album?
the Green Day album is Insomniac.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, I've only actually listened to I think their like first album and then like some of American Idiot, but yeah, thought I would get that one. Then their Blu-rays are like buy 3 for $5. So I ended up getting the first 3 Hunger Games movies. So I got Catching Fire, Mockingjay Part 1, and Hunger Games. Always good to have. So next time I will probably try to see if they have the Blu-ray for Mockingjay Part 2.
Yeah.
A lot of these DVDs also are ones that Bro picked out. So,
yeah.
But all of them I like as well. So we got Ella Enchanted. I've never seen this, but I've wanted to watch it ever since I found out Hugh Dancy is like the love interest. And obviously I love him from Hannibal. Bro got Shrek. We already had Shrek 2, which is the superior Shrek, but we decided to get this one as well. We got Atlantis, which Bro also watched last night.
I love this movie so much, and I like definitely owned a copy when I was a child. But like,
did you want a VHS or a DVD?
I think it was a DVD because I remember the special features about the fake language. But like, gotcha. I've been keeping an eye out for this at like used video stores forever, and I finally found it. So I was really surprised it took me this long. But it was the best $1 I spent yesterday, I think.
Yeah. She also got all 3 of the High School Musicals, which is so good. Honestly, these are really good, like put on in the background type movies. I feel like when we work on cosplay in the next like couple days, we should honestly just like watch them in the background.
I'm so down. Yeah.
Love these. I think the second one is my favorite. I remember having not a VHS, a like DVR recording of it that me and my brother would watch all the time.
I think that the second one is the best.
Yeah, it's really good. And then Bro got Unbreakable, this like really heavy like special edition version, which is another one of the M. Night Shyamalan movies we watched earlier this year. Okay, we also got Twister, singular. We also watched this earlier this year and liked it, and I guess we just wanted to have another copy of it.
It's fun. Good disaster movie.
And the last one we got was Sucker Punch, which I think we watched the Mike's Mike review of this.
Yeah.
I remember watching this, like, kind of like dad watching over, like my dad watching it, like on YouTube or something back in the day. But now I can actually watch the whole movie.
Yeah, I think we got influenced by Mike's Mike's video about it because he made it sound really good.
Yeah.
I remember this movie coming out and being kind of like controversial and bad, and I never watched it, but was kind of curious, so now we can watch it anytime and form our own opinions.
I feel like it got distilled down to like hot girls fighting and made it seem like it was way more voyeuristic than like it actually is, and there's actually like a deeper plot going on.
Yeah, I think it's had a reevaluation, so I don't know. We'll took the $1 plunge. We can see if it's good or not.
Yeah, if not, we'll just donate it.
Yeah.
I recently realized we had like duplicated a couple DVDs DVDs from like the $1 bin, so we ended up just putting them in a random little free library. So if there's any ever a DVD we don't want, I'll just like put it there.
Yeah. What was it was Napoleon Dynamite?
I donated my copy of Napoleon Dynamite, and I also donated, we had 2 copies of Arrival, which I didn't realize, so we ended up donating one of them.
Kind of nice to have a bunch of DVDs we've never seen before, so we can have a movie night anytime.
Absolutely. Gotta figure out where we're gonna put all these bad boys, though, because we're slowly running out of storage. So I wanted to show you now some of the stuff I have gotten to add to my fall decoration collection that I'm going to be using this year, as well as just some other like small things I've ordered that are like fall time related. Really quick, this isn't a decoration, but I did get a new pack of socks. I got this like jewel printed pack from Target. I apparently don't own like any dark colored socks that aren't brown, so I thought this like collection would be a good mix. And I think I've gotten a similar style of this from Target before, so I decided to get these. I also got this, which is part of their Hide and Eek line, but it's actually not for me. This is a little soap container that looks like a black cat. It is so incredibly cute and was also very affordable, but this actually isn't going to be for us. I'm going to give this to my sister-in-law because she and her partner just moved into a new apartment, and they have a little black cat named Jinx that I have shown in other videos, and it's just perfect and so like on brand. It just reminded me of Jinx and seems like a good thing for them to have for their new apartment. And then the last thing I'd gotten is some candles. So these I think are both part of the like Target Bullseye's Playground dollar area. Although I was actually able to order them online, which I don't think a lot of the stuff that's usually in that section you can buy online. The first one is this little pumpkin candle that when you take the top off, there's the candle down there. And then the other one is this like tiny little cauldron. And it's kind of like has this embossed texture to make it look like there's like bubbles on the top. Obviously that will all melt down once I start using the candle, but it's just so cute and tiny. And I'm pretty sure both of these are like the same scent. They're both like a pretty light pumpkin-ish, pumpkin spice scent. Actually, a little bit of a tragedy happened in that I actually ordered both of these and they both arrived broken. So I had to like initiate a return issue situation with Target and they ended up just sending me a new set of them. The one of the cauldron arrived like completely shattered like all the way around it, so it was pretty unusable and I just had to throw it out. But the one for the pumpkin, only like the top part had a big chunk like chipped off of it, and the actual like bottom piece was fine, so I am going to still use the other candle and like burn it down, and then I'll decide if I want to keep it or not. But for this one, since it did come like completely intact, probably when I like use this all up, as well as when I use up all of the cauldron, I'll just like refill them with a different scent. Which is kind of like the only catalyst for me buying new candles is if they come in really cute, unique containers that I know I can refill and make like a new candle with in the future. So that's why I went ahead and decided to get these guys. And specifically with this one, I just also felt like I needed more pumpkin decor in my apartment. So glad I got this guy. That's all I have so far. To be honest, there hasn't been that much else on like Target's website that I'm really interested in. There's only like one more thing that I really want for my overall Halloween decor in my apartment. And that's why I really want another cauldron. I have like a pretty shallow small one that I put on my coffee table, but I'd rather have like a larger, maybe like lighter plastic one that I could use in my entryway, since I have a basket there now that holds like air freshener and other like small like bottles and stuff that I thought would be a good thing to switch out for the season. So that's probably the only thing that is like actually on my wish list for decor this year. And everything else I'll just like decide if the moment strikes me If I can find a place for it in my apartment and where I can visualize it, I might not end up getting anything else, but to be honest, I'm pretty set with how much decor we have right now. Maybe when we move into our house in the next like year or so, since I won't have enough stuff to like fill all of the rooms. But for right now, I kind of have everything I need for decorating our main living area, as well as putting some small touches in the kitchen and bathroom. So I don't really need much more. This guy. Look at this one. Okay, why is he on the toilet?
I don't like that.
Let's not worry about that. But this one's so cute. His little face. Scales with a bow on his head. Okay, I wanted to do a little recap of some of the activities we've been doing so far. On Saturday, we went to the Arden Fair. This was our first time going, and I definitely had a good time. I can see us going again in the future. While we were there, we also went to Jupiter Records, which is pretty close by, and we picked up a bunch new DVDs, Blu-rays, and some CDs. On the way home, we also stopped by a big shopping center that had a Michaels in it. And as you saw, we did some browsing around the Halloween sections that were out there. There was a pretty good selection of stuff. A kind of inside joke with my wife is, even though most of the time I really like a more cutesy, feminine, girly aesthetic with lots of like pink and bows and hearts, I tend not really to like that for my Halloween decor. I feel like Halloween is kind of the one time of year where I'm allowed to get spooky and kind of deviate from my normal aesthetic. For Halloween decor, my like guiding principles lately has been, how do I make my house look like the inside of I Spy Spooky Night, in like a scary when you were a kid energy, but not really anymore as an adult. And to describe this with my wife, I often say that I'm not really a big fan of the skeleton with a bow on its head aesthetic, which there definitely was a good number of those things at Michael's. Anyway, we ended up not getting anything there. I did kind of like two of the cauldrons that they had. They had both like a really cute small one and then a slightly larger one, and they also were priced considerably less, I think, than a similarly sized version I had seen on Target's website. I ended up holding off getting them right now. I'm gonna wait until we go to TJ Maxx to kind of see the full scope of the like Halloween decorations that are available to me in my like local area. And if I really think that I want to get the ones from Michael's, I'll probably go again in another weekend or two and see if they're still available. We also went to the Arden Fair with my parents, and my mom was saying she does have a plastic cauldron that's still upstairs in their like Halloween storage in our attic. So she said she would give me that one if I couldn't find anything else, which honestly probably might work better for what I have in mind to use it for. So I'm holding off for right now. Anyway, while I was at Michael's, I did pick up one thing that I need for a craft that I'm going to be doing. As I mentioned in the intro, I really want to make one of those Louise Carmen inspired leather journal covers. So while I was at Michael's, I did pick up the elastic cording that's needed for them. I ended up going with this color pack. I think they had 3 different ones available. This is from Creatology, which is the like kids craft brand at Michael's. So I had to like go to the kids craft section to find this. And this is a pack that has a blue, a pink, a green, a gray, a tan, and then a like burnt orange color. I think for what I'm going to use, I probably will end up using either the pink or the burnt orange. For this craft, I'm also using as many things as I have already in my stash. And luckily I have this brown faux leather that I think I'm going to use for the journal cover. It's a pretty good level of thickness. I think it's a little under 2 millimeters, which around 2 millimeters I think is the ideal size that I've seen from a couple different tutorials if you're buying real leather. But I think just because of the fact that this is my first time having a journal of this style, I don't really want to commit and spend a bunch of money on real leather for the time being. Obviously with real leather, if you take care of it well, it can last like decades. But I don't necessarily think that the lifespan of this pleather is going to be a big issue for me. If it only ends up lasting me like 5 or 6 years, that's fine. It's already just like sitting around in my stash, so I might as well use what I have. And in the future, if this one does get messed up, I will probably commit and buy like an actual piece of real leather to eventually make another journal cover. But that's like many years in the future. I'm going to use this for the time being. I also have some eyelets that I'm going to probably use. And I also sorted through our like jewelry making stash to find some charms. I have 2 different styles of star charms. I have this solid like pure gold, as well as these like outline of a star, more like brass color ones. I think I'm probably gonna end up using these ones because I also found this charm when I was looking through our stash. So this actually originally was an earring that I just took off of the hook and added another jump ring so that I can use it. But I really like this as like the center charm that I'm going to use along the elastic that's going to wrap around the entire journal. And I feel like this and the more like brass colored stars match pretty well color wise. So I'm going to probably use these 2 together. And these ones I'll probably put on the like loops along the spine of the journal. So that's my little collection of some stuff that I'm going to be using for this little craft. And lastly, in terms of the overall size of the journal, I'm going to go for a traditional A5 size. I pulled out my reading journal from last year that I'm going to use to help me when I'm spacing out my template. I honestly was having kind of a hard time when I was looking on Etsy to find somewhere to get A5 size journal inserts. But as I was looking through my stash of unused journals, I actually found 2 that I think were going to work just to start me off. I have this completely random one that has like a craft cover and then like lined paper inside. It's pretty small, but I think this would be a good starter one. And I also have this old Chimmy notebook that's pretty similar in dimensions, although it's a little bit wider than a traditional A5 size. And this one is blank, but it does have a little like image of Chimmy in the corner. I also think both these are going to work really well because they're stitched as opposed to glued in, which stapled and stitched are definitely the preferred binding method for journals that are going to be held in place by the like elastic bands. I feel like with a glue binding, there's a high likelihood that the elastic will eventually pull the glue apart and like completely break the journal. So I'm going to use these 2 to start off with. I think currently my wife is working on some sewing in the other room. So probably when she's done with that, I'll be able to like kind of set up my little workstation and get started on this project. So it's been a couple days and I thought I would do a quick wrap up for the end of this video. First of all, I did end up finishing the journal that I started. I did all of the like putting in of the eyelets and stringing the elastic off camera, and I just finished it this morning and I think it looks so good. Obviously there were a couple different elastic colors I could have chosen, but when I was showing my wife the like pleather I was going to use for the journal, we both decided this kind of like burnt sienna one would be a good one to use to pair with this. As you can see, I have the little like charm on the front, and then I end up doing 3 eyelets on the sides, and on the first and second one I also put in the little star charms. I do think I probably should have put like maybe 1 or 2 jump rings here to kind of like make them hang down a little bit more because they are kind of sticking up a little bit, but I do think they look really, really cute. And I also did it so that the like center closure is not on the side, it's actually on the back, and I think it looks really nice. And like I showed you before, the 2 journals I have in here is this one like random A5 size journal that I have, as well as this other BT21 Chimmy journal. And I do have space for 1 more. I might also like try to like look on Etsy or like some other source to get like some type of little like pouch to hold stickers or other things I want to glue into my journal, because I really like having that pouch on the back of my reading journal to hold things. But overall, I'm really, really pleased with how this turned out. The only thing that I might also do to customize this is I'm not sure if I want to round the corners over here to finish these, or alternatively get those little like metal clamps that people get to protect the edges of paperback books. I think that would look really, really cute with the overall kind of like worn metal charms and like details that I have. So something to consider in the future. But now that this is completely finished, I'm really excited to get to using it. And with that all said and done, we are at the end of this fall vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed spending some time with me, doing some cozy crafts, and overall just getting into the fall spirit this early September. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, or subscribing if you aren't already. Consider also subscribing to me so you can see the other fall vlogs that will be coming on my channel in the next couple months, as well as following me on my Bookstagram and my Storygraph, which are both linked in the description. But that is going to be it for me today. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!